August 26th is Women's Equality Day, and we're joined by financial expert Jeremy Shipp of Retirement Capital Partners to talk about strides women can take to obtain financial independence and empowerment. Hi, Jeremy.
Hi, Andreas. How are you?
I am doing well. Excited to have this conversation because I think you have some very, very interesting things to share. Now, the statistics, I think we should start there because you know of some things that are affecting the professional success of women in business. So what have you found?
What we're seeing is that over the years, we are seeing that more and more women are in the CEO levels in Fortune 500 companies. And for every 10 male entrepreneurs that are out there, we're now seeing 7 female entrepreneurs. And we are seeing more and more breadwinners in the home, single family mothers, as far as bringing in all the income for the family. So it is really encouraging as far as the overall trend we're seeing of equality in the workforce and when it comes to their finances as well.
So given all of that success, the professional success and the ways that women are really striving in business, I thought it interesting that you also found some statistics about the financial literacy of women and that being potentially a little less than what we find, even though women may have more formal education in some cases. What did you find in that study?
Well, according to a 2019 study by the Allianz Life Insurance Company regarding women in finance, even though those statistics we mentioned, they're finding that women's confidence around understanding their finance is actually less than where we'd want to see that. It has a lot to do with the market environment we've found ourselves in the last 24 months. As far as ups and downs, it just puts a lot of more uncertainty and questions in their minds. And that's why I think it really comes down when we're talking about financial literacy and equality for women, having a good grasp, just knowing really what's going on with your financial picture is so key. We want to understand that we are in a partnership. Now, sometimes we're in a partnership with ourselves. We've got money coming in, money going out. And other times we have an actual other partner in the household, like a spouse. But the main thing we want to understand is figure out what is actually going on with our monthly cash flow. When we look at, say, retirement, a lot of people will focus on a big round number that will make them feel secure for retirement. A lot of times we throw out $1 million. But I think it's easier to think about what is the money I want to spend in retirement. So for instance, let's look and say I'm living on $5,000 a month right now. That's the type of lifestyle I want to lead in retirement. So look at what's going out, what's coming in. Hopefully we have more coming in than what's going out. And that gives us an opportunity to save and invest that money for the future.
Those are great points, especially understanding the future planning that has to go into these conversations that we're having and really starting now in order to be where we want to be in the process of retirement. So you have really 3 suggestions for how we can make sure that women are not only feeling more confident in the conversations about finances, but also making sure they have the support around them. So I think we should start with the educational piece of it. Like we said before, there's no shortage of educated women, but there may be a shortage of the true financial literacy education. So where should we be obtaining that knowledge?
The first thing is to look at our own pocketbook, our own checkbook, or our online statements, the different things we use to track our spending and our income. Because I think having clarity as far as what is going on and what we can control is going to promote more of that confidence, more of that education around just really understanding where is my money going on a regular basis to give us that figure we want for retirement. And again, knowing where we're at, then we can plan on how to save and invest for the future.
And that saving and investing is my next question. Okay, so, it's one thing to know where we are right here in this minute, but again, the future forward thinking is really what's going to get us there. So when it comes to saving and investing, how do we make sure we're making the right decisions right now to help us in the future?
It's very important to have a really defined outcome or goal of why we're saving the money. I call it our burning why. And the whole purpose of saving money is to spend it. So what are we going to spend this money on? Are we saving for retirement or education or a trip or just something special we want to buy for ourselves? That's the first piece, is let's be purposeful with our investment ideas and actions. But in particular for Women's Equality Day, I think it's really interesting and great to note that there are actual investment funds that promote gender diversity in the workforce. So if that's something that's important to you, you can actually vote with your dollars and invest in certain investment funds that only invest in gender diverse companies, meaning they have a certain percentage of women in their executive leadership council or on their board of directors. That's a way that we can promote through our actions the gender diversity that you maybe want to see more so in that workplace.
Absolutely. And when it comes to that knowledge, that planning, the confidence, there may be times where we need to ask for help, where it may not be our strongest suit, and we want to make sure we're making those good decisions. So how can we solicit the assistance we feel like we need? And how do we identify when we actually need help?
It really does come back to those first 2 points of understanding what we have going on right now, which is from the education, and why we want to save or invest for the future. Once we have the what and the why figured out, then we can go into figuring out the how. And that's where we can enlist the help of a financial professional and seeking that professional advice. I really think looking for a fiduciary advisor is important to help making sure you're getting advice that's in your best interest. But for instance, if we're looking at that example I used before of $5,000 a month spending in retirement, well, what happens if you're not going to retire for 20 years? So there are going to be some expenses that are going to go away. There are going to be some new expenses that pop up. And then we probably also want to consider inflation. So having a financial professional who does this type of work every day can help identify some of those blind spots we didn't even really think about, and really help round out giving us that how. Once we have the education, once we have that why, to get us to that equal footing that we all really want.
This is such wonderful information and such a perfect time, especially in the midst of everything that's going on and financial changes that we all have had, to really be focused on not necessarily what's happening right this minute, but how we focus on our futures and making sure that we continue to put ourselves in the best financial scenarios. Thank you so much for being with us.
Absolutely. Thank you, Andreas. Have a great day.
For those of you who are interested in learning more about Jeremy and Retirement Capital Planners, we encourage you to go to our website at WTVR.com/BTM.